Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals tips off in just a few minutes. For Michael Jordan, a win today will avenge 3 years of playoff frustration at the hands of the Detroit Pistons, a team that created its own set of rules to stop Michael. A few days ago, I sat down with Michael and discussed winning the championship and what it would mean to him and the Bulls.
Jordan on the move, baseline left. Oh, no! Oh, no!
Is there any one thing in your life, whether it's on the court or off the court, that could really humble Michael Jordan and bring him to his knees?
I guess to win a world championship would be one of the most humbling and I guess the most exciting things that I've ever been through, especially in a city that has never won it. Just to see what the reactions would be.
I noticed that the other night. You guys are dead serious about this, aren't you?
We are. And Detroit brings it out of us because so many years everyone has said, you know, this is our nemesis. This is the team that we can't beat. And I think we're driven to prove to people that we can beat this team. Even myself, I'm getting to be more vocal, more aggressive. But that's a desire to show to my teammates, we want it. We got to want it real bad enough.
About 2 or 3 years ago, when this all started, Detroit, Chicago, I mean, you took some brutal hits. Does some of this disdain right now come from that? Is it born out of that maybe at one time?
Yeah. And you try to play the good sportsmanship basketball that you always thought it was. And then now Detroit comes and wins with all out, a little bit of dirty, a little bit of physical play. And you get to a point where you just, hey, I'm not going to take any more of this. You know, I took it for 3 years now. Let's start fighting back.
Have you ever been afraid on the court, ever?
Nope.
Against
Never.
anybody?
Never.
Have you ever been intimidated by anybody?
Never. I mean, these guys put on their shorts just like me. I don't fear anyone on the basketball courts.
Here's trouble, 3-on-3. Jordan in deep. Jordan all the way! Score!
Assuming that things work out and you can hold the home court, as you have in the playoffs, and you got to the next round, the first time in your career in the finals. Preference, the Lakers and Magic, Portland because they didn't draft you, and you might want to show them why they didn't draft you. Any preference, or does it make any difference?
I'd much rather face Portland, being that the Lakers got all the experience. They've been there many times. They got the players. The Magic is so smart in those situations. And Portland hadn't won like we hadn't won. So certainly they have mistakes. They have a little bit more faults, and they still probably have a little more doubt than what the Lakers would have.
What about having to do it against Irvin Johnson individually? Or would you say to yourself, Portland's a better matchup for us? I don't give a damn about that personal rivalry.
I think everybody wants to see me play against Magic. If we get to that Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan thing, you take away from my teammates again. And that puts them back in that spotlight once again. For, you know, this whole series, we've been trying to get them up on the same spotlight that I was at and that I'm at. Against Portland, it'd be better from a team standpoint that you focus on it as a team.
Magic and Jordan one-on-one. Double team, Kyrie. Great pass to Thompson, score!
I always had tremendous, admiration for Kareem and Irvin, especially for Kareem when I was coaching him because I saw the abuse he took. I mean, my heart went out to him because I saw a man who every night was challenged. When you look at Magic and Bird and these players, do you have that kind of feeling for them because you know they're going through the same war you are every night?
We don't have bad games, or we're not expected to have bad games. We got to be consistent. We have to be good every night. We have a challenge every night. You know, something was given to us by the notoriety, by the media, by the fans, that superstardom. And we have to protect it because everybody's coming in trying to get it.
I asked Charles Barkley this question one time. I said, Charles, do you think you should be a role model? He said, parents should be a role model. And what do you think about that statement?
I agree with Charles. Really, even though I do it because people expect me to do it. And I think that it's tough to be in a situation where any mistake that you do can be magnified 10 times.
Don't you think someday, though, you might resent that?
I do resent it now. I try to make it known now that, hey, I'm not a perfect person. I'm just like you. I mean, I go to the bathroom, we all eat, we all drink, we all groom ourselves, we do the same thing. It's just that you guys have put me here, and it's tough being here and maintaining that position.
The Chicago Bulls are defined by Michael Jordan and his high-flying style. He is the most talented individual player in the league.
which makes him the centerpiece of every Chicago game. This season, his teammates have elevated their play, and now the Bulls are on the verge of their first NBA Finals. As we resume our conversation, I asked Michael how he characterized his relationship with his teammates.
Well, I think it's real good because I think they feel the way I feel about what we want to achieve as a team, and I want to get away from being that individual that stands out above them. I want to be a part of them. I think that was one of the reasons that when I went up to get my MVP award, I wanted them to come with me because they were the reason I actually won.
But what about this moment? I mean, that moment is a very profound moment. I mean, there's got to be something behind what happened that night. I saw it with Irvin. Irvin, when he got his assist record, broke down. Dennis Rodman, when he won his Defensive Player of the Year award, unashamedly cried. And here Michael Jordan wins the most valuable player and sort of breaks up. And why?
This particular time, I was being given that MVP by my teammates, by people that I play with and I'm with 8 months out of the year, instead of the media, who I see quite a bit. But my players actually gave me that because of the way they played, I feel. And that was very touching for me. And when they said that they were going to go out there and help me receive this, you know, I did all I could just to hold back the tears because it really showed to me what they really felt for me to win that award. And for them to go out there and receive it with me showed to me like it was a family situation. It was that unity all year long.
Bird saves it, but Michael steals the ball. Jordan back to the rack. Whoa!
The NBA Players Association, they're really trying to talk you into playing in the Olympics. You know, Magic, Barkley, Malone, a lot of guys have pretty much declared. Why are you holding back? I know you got a gold medal, but why are you holding back?
Well, you have to look at from a professional standpoint. The season is actually 8 months long. And I've been through Olympics, and I know some of the things that you have to do. And you add another month to basketball before you actually have to go back to work. And I don't think it's going to give me enough time to recover, to really get myself away from the game for a while and have that hunger to come back and start the season for next season.
So the chances are that we may not see Michael Jordan in Barcelona.
Right now.
Could you be chorused?
I don't know.
I think it makes sense.
The only reason that I would want to go is, I mean, is if we feel that we certainly can't win with the team that we're going to put out there.
Here's a ball loose. Paxson is steal ahead to Jordan on a run out. Showtime.
And people are putting this on you right now because that's what it's all about.
Right.
You know, Michael's on the brink. Can he? Can he? You either make or miss in life.
Right.
And you don't get many opportunities.
Sure.
If you don't win a title, you said you would still feel like you had a whole, very fulfilling career.
I would. It would be disappointing that I never won, but my career would never, ever be disappointing because of the success that I've gone through, with the friends that I've met, the experience that I've been through. The game would still be as fun and remembered for me, even if I never win the World Championship. I would much rather win, but if I don't, I'm not going to look back on my career and say it was tarnished because I never won the World Championship.
What's the difference you detect these days in Michael Jordan?
Well, I do think it all comes from his teammates there. He really is recognizing them. He wants each and every one of those guys now, like Magic, like Bird, those players, you make breakthroughs and you hope they get everything out of the game they desire. And I think they realize that, and he's giving them that approval, and I think that's been the breakthrough.
You think in the past he might have judged them a little too harshly?
He wanted to win, and I think everybody, you know, sort of gets to a point where they want everybody to play as hard as and as good as, and they're not capable of that. I think he understands now that's different.